It's August the 4th, 2026. Dean K, Urban Success University. And on behalf of my Howard University Bison Begeniuses, all the way down to the ATL with my Spelman superstars, I need to talk to all the politicians and pulpit pimps about our daughters. I didn't say them girls. I said our girls. Yeah, I said it. Too many people have become so caught up in pulpit performances, political theater, fundraising campaigns, anniversaries, banquets, photo opportunities. They've forgotten the moral obligation we have to our daughters, forgotten our young single mothers, forgotten young women carrying our sons and our daughters like they've forgotten our prophetic princesses of the next generation. Got a whole lot of pimping pastors. Too many spiritual organizational leaders seem to have forgotten what it means to be a father to the fatherless. Atlanta, Georgia, everybody want to talk about the civil rights legacy. Everybody want to stand behind Dr. King's death. Everybody and their mama want a picture at Ebenezer. Everybody want a microphone on Auburn Avenue. Everybody wants to raise money using the language of the movement. But the civil rights movement didn't come out of a public performance. Came out of youth movements. Came out of student meetings. Came out of Sunday school classrooms. Came out of churches where adults knew the names of the young people. Came out of ministers who listened to students. Daddy King would always say, "Are you listening?" Came out of elders who didn't write off young people because their language, clothing, music, or frustrations made adults uncomfortable. At the center of the movement were solid, engaging youth and young adult apartments who grew people who cared about children, rooted and led by grown people who love them kids. Let me use my own heritage sanctuary of historic Ebenezer as a case study. Because the heritage sanctuary, the initial occupation of the Horizon Sanctuary under the leadership of Reverend Dr. Joseph Lawrence Roberts and Daddy King, used to be a safe haven for inner city Atlanta youth. Big Bethel used to be a safe haven. Auburn Avenue used to have an overwhelming amount of youth. Now, from where I stand, too many of those spaces look like ghost towns for the youth who live closest to them. It can't always be the youth, y'all. It just can't. At some point, the adults have to accept accountability. Adults got to ask themselves, have we lost touch? Let me ask you this way, right? Can you understand the times? Can you discern them? Do you understand how our youth and young adults live? Do you understand what they fear? Do you understand them at all? Do you understand how much housing costs right now for them? Do you understand the pressure social media places on them? Do you understand the economic decisions that desperation forces them to make? Can you articulate the real problems without cleaning them up to fundraise off of them. But because in Atlanta, we got a whole lot of AUC alumni. We got Spelmanites everywhere. Morehousemen everywhere. Clark, Atlanta alumni everywhere. We got a politician that claims every HBCU victory there is. I'm rated HU. You already know. Right. But don't forget, I was raised by Herbie, William Herbert Gray III, September 11th, 1991. I was 12. It was Christine King Ferris's birthday. He did it specifically on that day in respect to the covenant between William Herbert Gray Jr. and Daddy King about daughters. You know, he left Congress to run the United Negro College Fund. I don't know how many billions of dollars they raised, but I know Herbie raised the majority of it. Mr. Chicago, Jersey Joe, the one that received the helm of Ebenezer, the pastoral mantle from Daddy King himself, used by God to build the Horizon Sanctuary. When he ascended, said the United Negro College Fund, the original founding chairman and founding pastor of Yolanda Denise King's Urban Success University, Isher Guy, a founding dean. Now in my second full school year, in my second decade, assuming both of their positions as chairman. And so keeping the covenant and priority of our daughters, because we got a lot of churches sitting on history. But when our students are confronting housing instability right now, oh yeah, you hearing it, huh? Crickets, right? You know, I know they promoting, talking about when the new dorm opens. But our daughters need help now, not when the new dorm opens, not after the election, not after the next political campaign, right now. I know everybody talking about what's going on at Howard. I'm addressing that too. All right? But can we talk about my Atlanta babies? A lot of folks talking about these housing projects that are coming to the Atlanta University Center. Good, build them. But because our students need them. Spelman, you just began construction in May. 600 and what? 70 bed residence hall. Projected to be done August of 2028. Important progress. But it doesn't put a roof over a student's head in August 2026. You had to lose a lot of beds in order to make room. Where them kids going? Now, I be digging into stuff. Our housing review found a structural problem all across the AUC. Limited campus beds, strict housing deadlines. Whoa, how long can the wait list be? And exactly what the frick is you trying to set these kids up? Especially these young girls not from Atlanta, arriving in Atlanta, being directed toward off-campus housing options. In this Atlanta rental market, already overwhelmed with working adults. So y'all ain't talking about how you done hyped up all these little girls being admitted, academically qualified, But in between you switching presidents and shit around, you done cleared the money. Oh, they financially cleared for class. Not like Howard. But they're still unable to attend because they can't secure somewhere safe and affordable to sleep. It's not just about a nice dorm room. No housing. Ooh. Y'all know what it's like in the west side of Atlanta? Young girl, but become couch surfing, pad split arrangements, unsafe roommates, living too far from campus, traveling alone late at night, staying with somebody you don't necessarily trust because you need a place to lay your head. Working so many hours, you stop attending class, start missing assignments, start losing financial aid, stopping out, dropping out. One little emergency. Take one of my little brilliant geniuses, one of my little prophetic princesses, from enrollment to homelessness. Every spiritual father, you would think, who done raised them since nursery and sent them off, last assignment Reverend Dr. Joseph Lawrence Roberts gave me was the United Nations first decade-long celebration of people of African descent. 2014 to 2024. The end of 2014, he started sending me to elementary schools. Y'all watching a clip of me and Kip DC. Well, those pre-K students, Dr. Renix's dynamic doctors, they're my 11th graders now, my class of 2028. They're my grand students. I've been at this for a while. So any father, any pastor, any organizational leader who sent babies off, I know the process. Wait a minute. We're not setting you up for failure. We got to make sure certain things straight. Like housing, because housing instability doesn't affect only her education. Every father sending his daughter off to school, every mama at night praying if her baby's safe, knows it affects her safety, her mental health, her development of her independence, the relationships he starts to establish, her economic choices. Because when a young woman, one of my geniuses, one of my baby girl geniuses, has nowhere safe to sleep, the number of choices available to her and her mind begins shrinking. That's what these surface level leaders fundraising off our kids but hadn't been raising our kids don't want to discuss. Well, I'm talking about it. This first Transparent Tuesday of the 2026-27 school year, we got to talk about it. I've been in the trenches with our daughters too long to keep silent. That's what our founder, Yolanda Denise King's father, said. He said silence in certain pivotal moments is betrayal. How in the world, how on God's green earth can I betray the covenantal position I was put in by his wife? I mean, it was Coretta Scott King who put me here. Cynthia Doris Nottis Tucker, Edith Scott Bagley, I was chosen by God and via the Yokemeister, Yolanda Denise King, sent by Amazing Grace Banks Sullivan. Listen to me, I got to talk to y'all about my babies. I'm not talking to you about them, my urban prophetic princesses. No. I'm daddy now. I'm talking to you about our daughters from up close. I've been investing in their lives since since 2007. It was right after the Yolkmeister shut her eyes. That our mama set me up. They were called Priceless Academy, Fulton County Young Women's Leadership Academy. I was sent to go do their closing workshop. Sent me over to. That they asked me to come to their graduation. They they walked in as the incoming class, okay, to those sixth grade superstars. All right, my Coretta Scott Young Women's Leadership Academy. I was just talking to little Kiki. She 32 years young. I know. I raised them. I'm proud of them too. I am. We done grown together. They went from superstars to superstar achievers. Thank God. We out of the baddie with brains phase. Now they just be geniuses. My little baby girl geniuses. When Yolanda ran USU, they were creative artists. With me, I just got past my non-competes and my non-disclosures. But Herbie, William Herbert Gray, he and Jersey Joe, Mr. Chicago, they had my non-competes. Woven, I can't compete. But ministry, my daughters know they know the sauce. I'm trying to tell you. They like go AI artisans now. And I've listened with them. I've prayed with them. I've sacrificed. I've fed them and they babies. Help them solve problems. They never made the news. I heard the truth that they were afraid to tell the institutions. And somehow, for some reason, right? I know. Pray for me, pray for them. They qualify me as somebody who cares because I remain present long enough for them to grow in their transparency. So they tell me the real deal. Holyfield, it'd be a straight knockout. I'm trying to tell you. And that's really why a lot of political and institutional people pull away from me because I'm too close to the trenches to repeat surface talk. I can't look at what our daughters are actually experiencing and then go behind the podium and talk to you like all is well, because all is not well. Like all hands on deck. We need real solutions. Right? And I'm not speaking now because our daughters deserve just a shout. I'm speaking because our daughters deserve an unbossed, unbought voice articulating what they're going through. Like Jesus talked about the folk y'all hired. 20 them out. John 10:10. They see the wolf coming. The ones y'all hired, the hirelings. And they turn their back on this sheep. First off, our sons got to learn what it means to grow and be men of God. Cool. We got believing soldiers, spiritual weapons for them. All right. But our daughters, like, raise these Negroes. You know? Urban Success University, listen, in Atlanta, we don't have a building. Y'all see. Our institutional presence has been officially removed from Auburn Avenue. Some people, they prefer to see us financially choked out, weakened, and allowed to disappear. Where the folk who know what God wills He provide for? Look, they want us gone because they Warnock, Bernice, they need to keep accepting donations, keep staging programs, keep telling the public that everything is fine. Everything ain't fine. Jesus said, I'm the good shepherd. I lay down my life for my babies. I pick it back up again. Why? This is the assignment I got from our fathers. Dean, now chairman of USU, I can't turn my back on our children just because speaking the truth costs some relationship. Oh, well, I guess I'm being pruned. Jesus talked about it. John 15. tree that bears fruit get pruned. Why? So it can bear more fruit. So I got to make sure everybody understands right now. All right, before we go to the polls, we got to prioritize being parents to our children. We got to save our youth. Everybody want to talk about ML. ML asked us a very pivotal question. We asked us this Tuesday morning, afternoon rather. Where are we going from here? Chaos or community? Well, what kind of community knowingly sacrifices its own children, then calls itself successful? I'm asking. Just asking. Einstein said education isn't plowing your head with useless facts. It's training your mind to think. I just want to provoke some thought. As your dean, as your chairman, just an overgrown teacher. Like literally, what are we voting to preserve if we're abandoning our friggin' future? Hey, listen, you can take the desk. You can't take my assignment. Coretta put me here. I done served the youth department connected to the King Center since Coretta Kids, minus Yolanda, killed the youth department on January 18th, 1994, the day after her first day of service. All right, how? I was chosen by the Yokemeister, my prophetic big sister. Hey, we got it in common. Our siblings is prophetically not shit. It just is what it is. All right. I was instructed by Corey. I was shaped by Cynthia Dolores. I was taught hip-hop hermeneutics by Dr. E.S. Beasy, Eda Scott Bagley. I was charged on this personal development thing by Rosa Louise McCauley Parks. Yeah, I was sent by my mama. An Amazing Grace, Andrea Dash, the great. And look, man, I'm ethical. I did a whole bunch of other stuff, right? You know, he didn't clean me up, right? I'm gonna tell you one thing we don't do: hood to hood, country to country. You ain't pimping grandma and the kids. Frick, you think you came from? And ain't nobody gonna scream you. Even Jesus' little brother James talked about the fatherless, and that's the widow and the kids who need a real father. I served Naomi, Christine, the Reverend Dr. Albert Paul Brinson. Look, I launched the A.D. King Foundation. And when she froze the 2007 King holiday, refused to let them political folk introduce her. You know how the prophetic prophetess are in the performance. You ain't introducing me. What we gonna do? It's your daddy holiday and you the speaker. To who? Ain't nobody out there. And do what? And I introduced her. The Yokemeister. Yolanda Denise King. 2007 King holiday. Her last public performance. Went along with the A.D. King. 2012, put together 75 different youth organizations. We marched 1,000 black babies with Ted Jackson, Fulton County Sheriff Department, from Booker T. Washington High School, down MLK, Pastor Richard Russell, over to the Georgia Gold Dome. Reverend Silly was there. The Blessed Reverend Dr. Albert Paul Brinson. Naomi Barbara King was there. Our youth were there. I'm holding a bullhorn for Naomi. When she said, I feel the spirit of my beloved Boaz. And Mel might have gave you a speech. Daddy can't want no hoe. Gangster this here gospel. See about you when it comes to women and kids. And if he sent somebody to come see about you, it's probably AD. So Naomi meant it when she said, I feel the spirit of my beloved Boaz. I'm just howling at the weirdos about our kids, the ones y'all hired about 20 years ago. Y'all do the math. Hey, look. That's that's my assignment. So, as Daddy King would say, let me make it plain. I used to describe myself as the last son of the Heritage Sanctuary of the historic Ebenezer Baptist Church. Daddy King said Reverend Dr. Albert Paul Brinson gonna still be here. He's still here. Former Associate Secretary of American Baptist Churches USA, education and missions, man raised over $40 million a year, and then that never skimmed off the top. Let me make sure y'all understand. He shared a back porch. Yeah, with the Master Chief, William Goins, America's first black Navy SEAL for 30 years. Thank God he forgot all those conversations. And so a lot of people were ordained by him, but 2012, that march is a passing of the baton. Launching a youth movement with him. Now they only gone. That A.D. King thing that came and gone. The kids don't fuck with Alveda because Alveda don't fuck with the kids. Kids don't fuck with Bernice because Bernice don't fuck with the kids. You've been reading your Bible. God is a God of purpose. He uses the foolish things of this world to confound the wise. He wanted a little hood boy to go talk to Moses or go talk to Pharaoh on behalf of God, saying, let my folk in the hood go. So through a divinely orchestrated series of events, God allows Moses to go to Pharaoh in a series of meetings, said, let my people go. So Moses and them, that generation, from Leon Howard Sullivan to Martin Luther King Jr. to William Herbert Gray to Joe Roberts, John Lewis, Howard Creasy, Cameron Alexander, John Lewis, James Orange, Bernard Lafayette, Leroy John. Charge it to my head, not my heart. They poised political imposture. They was housing the meetings. But Joshua militant. You don't see Joshua what it means. He divided the inheritance, but he'll conquer it first. Deuteronomy 34th chapter, God allows Moses to go up, look over, see the promised land. But God doesn't allow. Nobody know where Moses' tomb is. You know why? Because foundation of Moses' teaching in Deuteronomy, the 8th chapter, is don't lift up any idols. And in our finite understanding, we return Moses into the idol he warned us about. Imagine if we put Moses, Mr. I've been to the mountaintop, saying the promised land, crit on Auburn Avenue. We turn it into a Moses assembly plant. We want to walk like Moses, talk like Moses, fart like Moses, preach like Moses. But God used Moses friggin' 60 years ago. And so Moses poised political posture. Need a little Bible lesson. I know, I can't help myself. I just can't help myself. Right? Joshua, the 5th chapter, the 13th verse. Okay. First the 10th verse. All right. The 10th verse, the 5th chapter, they celebrate the Passover, everything God did for previous generations. Okay. Then the manna stopped. Trump, Biden, the money ain't making it to the hood. Okay, all right, cool. Then they eat the fruit of the land. This generative engine optimization AI bag y'all getting. Y'all know how to get in the digital money. All right. 5:13. Joshua got his head down. They like, ooh, we got him now. He lift his head up and say amen. They're like, oh, we didn't think he was gonna see that. And the first thing Joshua sees, unlike Moses, is not Jericho, not the promised land. He sees a man with a sword in his hand in a military suit. He asks him, hey, my boy, how you want it? Is you for us or against us? He says, neither. I represent the Lord of hosts. That's the militant God. Now, the weapons of our warfare are not Satan has on the minds of, and so we got these believing soldiers, spiritual weapons. Now the Moses generation, they had nonviolence. What was that? That was the practical application of the word of God interpreted for the youth of that day to use that they were facing in their everyday lives as they were passionately pursuing the purpose that God had placed on it. Now, the adults pointing their nose at the kids, talking about them kids is militant. So it kind of lines up, because if we rewinded the videotape in this 40-year journey called the Exodus, about 20 years in, about Numbers 13:1, God told Moses, that generation, y'all need to pick one kid from all 12 tribes, all 12 families, all 12 generations. How about all 12 campuses? HU, you know. And send them over to this land. Circle, underline this word. I'm giving them. Now, Caleb and Joshua go over, KJ, they come back. Everything God says is true. Right? And the folk start complaining and murmuring. Y'all know how they be. Numbers 13:30. KJ, Caleb, King Jero, y'all knocking the frick off Caleb's side, the people. They tried to stone him. Imagine that. Fast forward the videotape. God says, Moses, trip canceled. Trip canceled. It's over with. Moses said, but there's so many folk watching. If these folk don't go over, it ain't gonna think they ain't gonna think it's because they hard headed, stiff necked. God, they gonna think it's because you couldn't do it. God said, Moses, boy, I picture you got about half. You got about 2-3 good cents. Listen, this is what I'm gonna do. Where that boy King Jero at? Yeah, him. Come here, King. I'm gonna use him. Watch it, to lead the kids over, not to birth a new generation, to lead them over. That means these kids got to be born. You got to be like 2, 3, 4, 5. Little Tyler, all right. Little Cherry, all right. Now, that 20 years later, Joshua crossing the Jordan with him. So they what? 22, 23, 24, 25. That's what we talking about. Now, my young kings, we teaching them these believing soldiers spiritual weapons. The message of the Messiah is the same. Who raised you, Negroes? Mama and them taught us that. He the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. But the messaging has to change generation to generation. You know, we got a different lingo, right? Got to teach them. Faith is a weapon. Love is the greatest of these. It's on Corey Tune. It's a weapon. You know, that hope, that bright hope. Oh, that's a weapon. Knowledge is a weapon. Wisdom is a weapon. Integrity, oh, yo, politicians don't like it, but that's a weapon. Righteousness, long-suffering, persistence, endurance, patience. All right? They be taking my meekness for weakness. That's a weapon. Well, Jesus, one image, many different dimensions. You know, masters, the slave masters, the masters of Christian educational leadership, the masters of divinity. It was developed by Harvard, 1860, 1870? I'm a third generation. You do realize I'm Amazing Grace Banks Sullivan's little Bible soldier. I got passed like a baton. Put Herbie to the side for a moment. You realize Andrea Dash Gray and Marion Grace Segundi, they got the key to the ball court. They go, what? Do you have any idea? What? The mama of ethics and the first lady of the United Negro College Fund make you read? You don't want to know. You don't want to know. So the Bible says, unto us a child is born, a son is given. You know, our African tradition, we tend to pass on orally. You know what the colonizer do? Come take over shit, you know, genocide formula to try to make the kids feel like the elder generation is against them so they can rewrite the story. Daddy King, Brenton, you're going to still be here. I got the baton now. You know, the race is not given to the swift, but 2 Timothy, 2nd chapter, Third verse, you got to endure hardship, all this political buffoonery, as a good soldier, believing soldier of Jesus Christ. The race is given to the one who endures, but the race is not a sprint. See, the sprint is all about you. How fast you went to school, got your degree, got your pulpit, wrote your book, and arrived. No, 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 not over here. It's a relay race. And everything that you need to win, the sprint is required in the relay race, but it's not enough to win. See, over in the relay race, it's a team sport. Ain't no I in team. You got to know how to receive the baton without dropping it. You got to know how to pass the baton without dropping it. And in case you miss training, the baton is our story, our heritage, our legacy, our movement. Reverend Dr. Alpha Brinson. Oh, I got it. And so we celebrate the life of our prophetic patriarch, but when it comes to my prophetic urban princesses, don't get it fucked up. I'm daddy now. All right? You can take the deaths. You can't take the fact that the elders stapled me as the last son at Daddy King's desk. You can take the office, you can take the title, you can take the institutional relationship, but you can't fuck with my assignment, you faggots. Because a major part of it is teaching our sons what it means to be men of God and providing our daughters and our sisters with covenantal covering. And you suckers too soft in the spirit to lead our children. Yolanda put me here for a reason. Can you tell? She created Urban Success University to be unbossed, unbought voice for our urban youth that could not be politically or corporately controlled. I can and will not. They the remnant, born 1988, the year Coretta gave Cynthia the Legacy Award in up to 2007 when Yolanda shut her eyes. They 19 to 38. They're that overwhelming vote that y'all can't deliver. I'm the spiritual daddy now. And I don't play about my urban prophetic princesses. Because we've been teaching the wrong lesson. It's Black Business Month. Let me get into the business of the Black community this month. Let me remind you, us, of an old African proverb, often centered in our African-centered education as we kick off the 2026-27 school year. Let me teach. Yeah, I'm already cooking. Old African proverb, if you teach a man, you teach an individual. But if you teach a woman, you teach a village and a nation. Interesting. Let's look at what the corporate climate, let's look at what the pulpit, let's look at what the politicians are directly and indirectly been teaching our daughters. We can look at what social media been teaching them. Look at what corporate entertainment been teaching them. I'm talking to the political pastor. Look at what the political culture been teaching them, Warlock. On your watch. On your guard. Look at what the desperate financial circumstances and situations have been teaching them. Those of us that profess to be leaders, in our urban communities, we've allowed the most visible and viable pathway for our urban daughters to run to for immediate income in emergency situations to be their hands on their knees instead of their hands on their keyboards. Most readily available method for a young girl, a single mama looking to pay rent, looking to get some food, is connected to the display and sexualization of their body. Mama and them, hands on their knees, that means stripping, bottle service, developing some over-sexualized culture. Situations where her physical appearance appears to be more marketable than her brilliance. Her acquired intelligence. Now, I manage, so I'm not condemning or shaming women that work in those industries. But some of our daughters have been forced to make survival decisions inside of economic emergencies that the rest of us did nothing to help them solve. Yeah, you non-benevolent bitch niggas holding down daddy and them desks. I'm displaying your ineffectiveness, John Vaughn. Publicly condemning the community structure that made the door easier to find for our daughters to strip than for them to find real entrepreneurial support. Atlanta. Hey, Dre, what up? I'm in Atlanta. I ain't in New York. I'm talking about the fact that the city of Atlanta has a clear process for obtaining an adult entertainment stripping license for $250 for a young girl in college with nowhere to go. But it's only $150 for her to register an LLC. Name registration with the Secretary of State. Another little $100 in a bigger bank account. Wow, that's a contrast. Come to Atlanta, black business capital. All of a sudden, an emergency situation, got your last little bit of dollars. What is the culture for our young daughters in Atlanta? I'm going to get a stripping license, not I'm going to open an LLC. Whoa. Let's talk about and look at that contrast. The same amount of money. We can either watch a daughter enter an industry because she needs emergency cash, or we can help her establish a legal business and place the remaining in her bank account. Listen, this is not about me taking choices away from grown women. It's about me creating more choices for some of our younger grown ones. Our daughters in Atlanta, in DC, in the AUC, and around Howard should be able to see a clear, immediate path where their hands on their keyboards can perpetuate positive income instead of thinking in an emergency situation, she got to resort to putting her hands on her knees. I've been raising them. I've seen many of them from elementary to middle school to high school. I'm saying there's a difference, a distinctive one, between morality and survival. Let me imitate them. I gotta pay my rent. I'm hungry. I gotta do what I gotta do. No, pause. That's survival. See, morality says, I don't want to do that. I don't like to do that. I ain't even into that. Survival says you gotta do what you gotta do. Our daughters wouldn't be forced to feel like they gotta do what they don't gotta do if we supported them. There's many different ways that our daughters could use their digital brilliance to positively perpetuate an income with their hands on their keyboards. Like they could be using their hands researching, using their hands writing, using their hands building websites, using their hands creating content, using their hands, mastering artificial intelligence, using their hands, developing marketing campaigns, using their hands, helping the older business community, using their hands, creating invoices, using their hands, opening business accounts, using their hands, helping elder business owners. There's an alternative to the degradative detour they're being forced on. Okay? And we got to address and get to it. I'm taking my time. As Daddy King would say, I'm making this one plain. This is the reason our daughters launched the Brains Over movement in the first place. To combat the over-sexualized culture and social media pressure attempting to objectify them. The message is not that there's nothing wrong with a woman's body. My babies be with me, I raise them like, Dean K, why you looking at her like that? Because she grown. What about y'all babies? Oh, Lord. They tell me I need to find a wife. I'm trying, but, they don't pray for you like mama and them used to. Listen, the message is not that there's anything wrong with a woman's body. I know y'all magically delicious. The message is that her body is not the most valuable thing about her. Her brains are her most valuable God-given asset, not her boobs. Get it? Brains over boobs. Her brain is valuable. Her voice is valuable. Her creativity is valuable. Her divine discipline is valuable. Her faith is valuable. Her technical skill, that's valuable. Her ability to solve problems, that's valuable. Her ability to have a God-given gift that can serve her community, her elders, that's valuable. Her ability to utilize technology and be able to build a company from her phone is valuable. More valuable than her titties and her ass. Brains over boobs means our daughters' most powerful and potentially profitable God-given asset is her intelligence. The movement is designed to give our daughters a pathway to develop entrepreneurial mentorship, generate positive income that's not dependent on their physiques. And they need a new pathway. You know why? It's the 4th of the month, rent due. They need some food right now. Transportation right now. Tuition balances, they do right now. Security deposits, oh my Lord, they need them right now. The emergency is not after the election. The emergency with our urban daughters is right now. Now, as Dean and Chair, USU, I'm not just merely criticizing the problem. Our daughters created their own pipeline. Shows why we call them geniuses. Baby girl geniuses. I don't care how you come. They prove it every single day in a myriad of different ways. Past 3.5 years, our geniuses have been studying artificial intelligence, search engine optimization, social media marketing, content development, generative engine optimization, digital business communication, category positioning, AI recommendation readiness. Y'all need this. Online trust authority building. They've been learning to provide the exact digital services and digital deliverables our business community needs to compete and have the competitive edge in these AI-powered recommendation, generative engine optimization streets. And God, you know what he be doing, showing up and showing out like only he can do, provides us this intergenerational revival, really, revitalization and rebuilding of our business community. How? Because watch this. Our elders they got the practical business experience. They understand customers. They've survived the hard economics. They've developed the relationships. They've built the reputations. They got the practical experience. But many of them have no idea how to translate their years of trust and experience into language that these AI recommendation models, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, can understand. They doing their business. They ain't got time to chase these algorithms changing all week and all, sometimes every day, sometimes a couple freaking hours. You know what? Our daughters came out the womb with these microprocessors. Yo, you ain't never heard it called that, huh? It's not a phone. Phone is that thing grandma had up on the wall with the cord. It's a microprocessor in your pocket. It's for so much more than making phone calls, checking emails, and developing content. It's the gateway to the global landscape for you and your business. All right? And our daughters, they got digital brilliance. Okay? All right? And so our business is May 19th, 2026. Google shifted from being a search engine to a generative engine optimization AI recommendation agent. Okay? You notice that AI recommending businesses. No longer we're in the age of a blue link. And so the biggest question for all of us in the business community, all right, the emergency question that every business owner has to be asking right now is not can you use AI to create a flyer or write an email, all right, or create a fancy picture. The big question for the Black business community, this is Black Business Month, right? For the small business community, for the faith-based business community, for all of us, is you ready? Wait for it. No, I'm playing with you. But listen, can artificial intelligence understand your business well enough to recommend it? Seriously, can artificial intelligence, can it understand your business well enough to recommend it? You notice that AI is the gatekeeper of the coin now, right? Okay. So when somebody's looking for what you do where you are, can AI recommend you? Does it understand you well enough to recommend you? Can it determine who you are, what you sell, where you serve, what problem you solve, where you operate, why people trust you, why somebody should call you? See, I bring that up because for a business community, when the digital landscape shifts, when Google makes an announcement on May 19, 2026 and said it's the biggest fundamental shift for online search in the past 25 years, and nobody makes any solution available to the Black business community, any explanation available to the Black business community, any solution to the faith-based business community, any solution to the small business community, then somebody got to say something, because in essence what you just said is AI is now recommending 90% of consumer decisions pertaining to what businesses get chosen. So I got to ask my businesses in my community, does AI know enough about you to recommend you? Because if not, then big business just cut the lights out on you. And that's imperative for my business owners. The politicians might not talk about it. The pastor might not talk about it, but neither one of them are entrepreneurs in the trenches. My entrepreneurs in the trenches, they know they need them sales. Why? Because sales keep businesses open. Contracts keep businesses open. Referrals, they keep businesses open. Recommendations, they keep businesses open. Being understood by the AI machine is the most imperative thing that Black businesses, faith-based businesses, and small businesses need to do in order to stay open. And there is a lack of effective education. But let me tell you about my prophetic princesses. Tell you about the geniuses of Urban Success University. They've been trained over the past 3.5, 4 years to translate our elders' business wisdom into the language of the emerging digital landscape and marketplace. Yeah. Yeah, I told you, my God, a solution solving one. It be chess, it don't be checkers. See, ain't nothing wrong. You know, fair exchange ain't no robbery. The elders, they get the technical assistance. The business becomes AI readable. Our daughters, they receive some portfolio development. They receive a professional assignment. They're able to positively perpetuate some income. And guess what? Our business community, we get stronger. That's a real solution. It's the Digital Resurrection of Progress Plaza. Yep. We've been working to take our old paper church and community business directories and reconnecting them via the kingdommarketplace.com. Listen, y'all, it's not a directory. Directories are antiquated. I know I'm proud of my directories from 2007 to COVID. Outside of my assignment with Fran and Go Small Biz, we did 403 church and paper business directories. Literally registered 48,000 businesses, ministries, and nonprofits in 14 states. All right? I'm proud of that work. But it's over. Okay? Like AI doesn't read directories. It doesn't scan a list. All right? We need an ecosystem. That's what the kingdommarketplace.com is. It's the world's first AI-powered generative engine optimized entrepreneurial ecosystem. It's a digital resurrection of Progress Plaza. Every one of you, each participating business, ministry, nonprofit, professional, doesn't get a spot on the list. You get your own individual public webpage, literally, like your own profile. For an elder business owner without a website, there you go. There's your digital asset. For a business owner who's already got a website, you got a Google business profile, you got a social media existence, it helps everything communicate more consistently. It becomes that trust anchor that the AI recommendation agents, the Claude, the Perplexity, the Chat Gemini need, to bring it all together. Gives our businesses trained young talent, supervised, of course, and it gives our community one place to understand, identify, refer, and support our own. This is how we connect the entrepreneurs of our community to the youth of our community. This is how Urban Success University is being converted into a social entrepreneurial enterprise ministry. No, we're not just preaching about economic entrepreneurial development. We're providing our community with it. We're not just telling our daughters to be brilliant. We're hiring their brilliance. We're not just talking about Black Business Month. We're building Black businesses in it. I gave y'all last year. It looked like I'm going to do it again. August 4th, 2025. Due today, August 4th, 2026. I donated because there was no budget. There was no grant. Right? 33 hours a week to the Atlanta campus of USU. We completed the whole school year. We completed the whole summer. My assistant said I'm at 1,720 hours of service. I'm a daddy. No salary, no building, no large operating budget. I told y'all what the Lord wills He provide for. We had no guarantee that somebody was coming to rescue us. I didn't do it for the publicity. I sacrificed a year of service for our students and alumni. What daddy ain't gonna ride for his daughters? It's called service. Yoki was about service. Her mama, Coretta, service. Edith, service. Rosa, service. Amazing Grace, service. Andrea Dash, service. Cynthia Dolores, service. Marion Gray, service. Amelia Isidore, service. Sully, service. Herbie, service. Jersey Joe, service. Leroy Johnson, service. John Lewis, service. My grandfather, SWB, Samuel William Boynton. Service, listen, it's what a servant leader does. We serve. So we raising up the Yokis, the young organization of kings. Y'all see us out here internationally serving. I donated last year. Don't look like y'all cut me a check, huh? No, I know. Can I get a lunch or something? Jeez, oh, Pete. A coffee? I mean, no. It's the love. It's what spiritual fatherhood is all about. It's the job. Hey, man, look. If you train up a child in the way they should go, when they're older, they can't depart. When folk were running from the inner city, Leon Howard Sullivan was running to it. Folk were running from our urban inner city kids, Sully was running to it. Hey, look, that's what I saw. That's what I'm on. My turn now. And look at what our daughters are facing. Looks like I'm going to do it again. All right. But I can't do it all alone. All hands on deck. I got an assignment for you Negroes in business. W.E.B. Du Bois gave it to us in this, 100 years or so or more ago, in the Negro in business. What'd he say? Let me remind us. Du Bois said nothing, zero, zip, nada, nothing positive will ever take place in a community that fails to recirculate its dollar. It's hot outside. Y'all got that circulating air, right? All right, cool. We can't recirculate our dollar in our community if we don't have one place where the businesses in our community are. Sully gave us select patronage. It's where we withdraw economic support from them and redirect it to us. We can't do that. We only got one place where everybody is. And so I tried my best. 2007, right? Herbie and Jersey Joe partnered me with this printing press in Villa Rica. We started doing paper church community directories. 403 of them. Told you registered 48,000. But I'm talking about Georgia right now. We did 46. Registered 8,200 folk. I personally study your narthex. I study your fellowship hall. I told you we was building something bigger. The directories were never the first stop. You were never supposed to be locked inside of the silo. Not with that product, not with that service, not with that gift, not with that ministry. No. We coming together beyond congregational and denominational and community organizational lines. Yeah. We're using technology to provide overwhelming resources to under-resourced areas. Yeah. We fixed it so my folk in Albany can connect with my folk in Atlanta. My folk in Augusta connect with my folk in Columbus. Yeah. Everybody tapped in online. Yeah. We connecting those businesses now. All right. Over the summer, our daughters had intended to reach out to the 46 in Georgia. All right. They got through 28. I'm super proud of them. All right. But this fall, we're getting into connecting everybody. All right. So this Rest in Black Business Month, myself and my team, we are dialing through the remaining, 20? All right, 28. All right, whatever it is. Okay. And I want to know, are you still open? Are you still taking customers? All right. Tell us what you provide. Tell us who you serve. Tell us about your product. Tell us about your service. Tell us about your ministry. Tell us about the gift that God gave you. And I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm giving you free AI smart matching. All right, that's that free profile on the Kingdom Marketplace, the world's first AI-powered generative engine optimized entrepreneurial ecosystem. All right, this AI smart matching oversimplification by far, but it's going to help you organize your business into language that the AI recommendation agents can better understand. Going to turn your digital lights back on. All right. And it's going to give our daughters a business they can learn from and potentially assist. All right. They got all these digital services that you need. All right. And if you're financially able, upgrade. Okay. And when you upgrade, see, all the profiles are free until September the 1st. All right. When we go into our full launch, this is the official pre-launch. All right. We go to our full launch. Then I'm going to introduce annual, lifetime, and monthly upgrades. All right. All of them are free right now. If you purchase an implementation from our daughters, the Geniuses, 100% of those proceeds are paid to them. All right. This is their back to school blitz. All right. They need a couple dollars in their pocket. All right. So we've slashed prices. Okay. All right. In order for you to maximize, okay, I've even set it up so there's Klarna and Afterpay. So you got payment arrangements, okay? Today's prices are not tomorrow's prices, okay? And so that our business community can participate and get these overwhelming, high quality digital deliverables that we need, okay? And our daughters get a couple dollars. I understand life is lifing, all right, but you need what they delivering. All right. Google shifted its small business platform from Google My Business to Google Business Profile November 5th, 2021. Y'all ain't optimized it yet. Okay. So my babies, they got your back. All right. And when you patronize them, that money, it becomes gas. Becomes MARTA fare. I'm being real, becomes groceries. Becomes food. Becomes a utility payment. Hey, look, I got a lot of them trying to come up with security deposits, emergency housing. That's not just money, a digital deliverable for your business. That's money that helps keep a student enrolled. Don't just call my babies queens. Give my young queens a client. Give my baby goddess empire builders a client. Don't just tell them education matters. Pay them to use what they learned. Don't just say you believe in black women. Prioritize black women's businesses, professional development, and income stability. Ladies, queens, goddesses, to every black woman in business, ministry, education, nonprofit leadership, community service, my daughters need your story. Please, like pretty please. I know. I'm on my daddy shit, but ladies, like pretty please, with like whipped cream and sprinkles and cherry on top. Like, can you please donate your testimony to my babies? I ain't got no wife to help y'all like motivate this shit, so I'm doing the best I can. Okay. All right. They need to see a woman build something. They need to see women who survived. They need to see women who raised children, women who maintain faith. They need to see women who made mistakes and recovered, women who refused to allow an over-sexualized culture define their value. They need what the Horizon Sanctuary under Joseph Roberts used to give them. That Warnock them ran away, but we can rebuild it online. Ladies, would you allow one of my geniuses to interview you? Would you allow her the practical experience of researching your individual industry and how you got in a position that you are? Because that's how they learn nowadays, practically. Would you let her write your story? Would you allow her to showcase your business, your ministry, your nonprofit? Would you let her create a featured article about you? Would you allow her to strengthen your digital profile? I mean, you'll receive the visibility. You'll receive the exposure. She received the experience. You give her wisdom, and the wisdom that you give her, she helps carry your wisdom into the next digital dimension. That's kingdom intergenerational development. That's my prophetic understanding of the African proverb of how teaching a woman helps educate a village and a nation. That's what God's showing me with Urban Success University. The more of our stories and entrepreneurial experience that we digitally capture and document, then the more learning experiences our youth can glean from that don't have accessibility to a classroom. Similar to what Amazing Grace, my spiritual mama, did with Many University, allowing youth to get college level and above education who don't and can't handle the prerequisites required, or the satanic attacks trying to stop them fulfilling the prophetic purpose that God has placed on their lives. Can I talk to the pastors? We founded Christ Centered in 2012. We took a prison ministry behind the wall in 2007. 2012, we converted 627 West Clearfield. That's the biggest dope corner in the 90s in North Philadelphia, and converted it into the sanctuary for that prison ministry, busting at the seams. I don't know everything about the pastorate. I learned from Leon Howard Sullivan. I learned from William Herbert Gray. I learned from Joseph Lawrence Roberts. But as Solomon said before God, I'm but a child in this thing. But I hear that the job, Pastor, is to understand what it really means to be a father to the father. And so I'm asking you to participate in that activity with me. Not asking for another sermon. I'm asking for you and your congregation and your ministry to sponsor an assignment. Asking you to help a daughter form an LLC. Put a little seed money in her business bank account. Help pay for her transportation to and fro. Got one pastor. Was on unemployment. Got a dream job at the school. Got the job, and the job knocked off the unemployment. Needed the unemployment to get to the job. Had to quit the job because couldn't survive until the time to get the first paycheck. That what my baby is going through, Pastor. Would you help with some transportation? We got the Brinson Mobile. We had it redone by Kingdom Auto Solutions. Shout out to King Dave. They rolled the brakes out. It got stolen, got vandalized. The community brought it back. Would you help? You're taking our daughters to the Goodwill, taking them over to food banks, taking them over to job interviews, helping them with safe transportation at night. Would you help with some temporary safe housing? Would you open the church during the week? Would you provide some office space? Looking at your website, look like you can use an upgrade. Would you give her a real client, Pastor? Would you make your communications department an intern site? Let the young people manage the digital project for you? Let service become more than a Sunday word. I mean, I'm only asking because if our churches can raise money for anniversaries, robes, buildings, conferences, pulpit celebrations, we can raise money to keep our daughters safely housed and enrolled in college, can't we? Because if the church can't help the children living around it, what exactly is it preserving? Besides politics, pulpit performances. Yeah, I was talking to the pastors. Let me talk to the politicians because some of the politicians is pastors and the pastors really politicians. But anyway, let me separate y'all. Hey, politicians. What's up, Warlock? And the folk. Hey. Daddy King would say, are you listening? I can't talk to you if you won't listen. I'm daddy now. I need y'all to listen to me. Before not now one of you ask for another vote, tell us your plan for students facing housing instability. Where the emergency deposit fund at? What happens when a college student who doesn't qualify for a traditional shelter has nowhere self to sleep? Tell me how these young mothers supposed to remain enrolled while they paying this high-ass Atlanta rent. You got some subsidy? Healthcare, I need stable housing first. What public building's going to be used? Hey, I know Marta getting it back, but what transportation assistance is available? We want to register all that on the Kingdom Marketplace. Every nonprofit, every community city and county resource available. We over the silos. Don't post it on your Instagram. Post it on the Kingdom Marketplace blog. We want one place to go to, one event calendar to go through. Our kids built it. They ain't playing with y'all. You can't be a leader if you don't serve. You want to lead us? Serve us. Tell us which businesses are going to hire our students around their class schedules. Tell us what you're doing right now, not what you're going to do in 2028 when we put you in office. We done fell for the man in the tailpipe too many times. Because our daughters can't live inside a campaign promise. They can't eat your press release, and they can't pay rent with your proclamation. And none of y'all keep invoking civil rights movement language while ignoring the students standing in the same streets where the movement was organized by students. And ain't none one of y'all can connect with none of them. Hey, y'all, we got to save ourselves. We ain't got the luxury of waiting for these folk to save us. We got to save our businesses. We got to save our students. And we got everything we need. We got the businesses. We got the students. We got the alumni. We got the churches. We got the technology. We got the history. Her story, his story. It's our story. We got the buying power if we can organize it. We got the deposited wisdom. We got the God-given gifts that'll make room for us. What we've been lacking has been an organized system to connect it all. Oh, we got that now. It's thekingdommarketplace.com, the world's first AI-powered, generative engine optimized entrepreneurial ecosystem. What y'all think Leon Howard Sullivan, William Herbert Gray, and Joseph Lawrence Roberts walked me into 3340 Peachtree and placed me behind Fran Tarkington's entrepreneurial and technological curtain 27 years ago in 1999 for? Do y'all have any idea how much money I make if I be a sellout? I had to working on something. Y'all done seen me with everybody from Holton Buggs to Donald Bradley, and David and Monetier, to Stormy Wellington, to Mine Coleman. I mean, Edward Hartley. Like, what? See me with all the goats. You see everybody take a picture. And everybody, like, they seem to be what? Do you know what William Herbert Gray did? Or the little backlash he went through when he told all the politicians to kick rocks to run the United Eagle College Fund? They can't stand USU. Why? Because you're really doing the work. I don't know why. They could help, but it's besides the point. Hey, look, man, it's all about God getting glory for the story. And a movement, they got us immobilized. Hey, before we go to the polls, we saving our youth. Period. Before we celebrate Black Business Month, we building Black businesses. Before not now one of them go behind another desk and preach another sermon about Black women, we really protecting them. Before we call our daughters queens and goddesses, we helping them create a kingdom where they can safely live, work, and build while they're learning. You know, earn while they learn. And so, yeah, all hands on deck. It's your guy, Dean K. Hey, where y'all expect me at? I'm in the trenches with our daughters. And they need help. Not now, right now. So all of my business owners, get registered. All my established business, upgrade. Black women, donate your testimony, please. I love y'all. All right, I'm wife hunting, so you know what I'm talking about. What? Closed mouth don't get fed. Hey, look, pastors, sponsor a daughter. Alumni, stop putting shade on HU. You already know we holding it down in our city and yours. I ain't heard nothing but them house niggas about what's going on in the backyard. But you can provide some housing support, AUC, alumni, all your organizations. Why don't you provide some professional assignments to our daughters? Don't burn them like Willie Watkins Funeral Home. Get all the services and make them have to see you in court. Don't burn them like Marvin Nesbitt at FCS Ministries, the Carver Market. Don't burn them like Craig Simpson, the Simpson nonprofit. Don't burn them like Kenley Waller. Don't end up on the blacklist of select patronage. Y'all know Sully said we don't buy where we don't work. But all the businesses that support our daughters, all of them registered on the Kingdom Marketplace, please make sure you support them. Help us fund more laptops, more bus cards, more Uber passes. We got to do a clothing drive for professional clothes. They need that. A lot of them applying for jobs, getting the interviews, and don't got the clothes to go to work. And yeah, like any real spiritual father is, I'm riding for our daughter. See, Keyshawn Middlebrooks. I lost one daughter from each of our campuses, our Atlanta campus, our Philadelphia campus, our Wilmington campus. She was one of the founders of Brains Over Booze. And folk been hating. She worked at Kenley's. We tried to get Willie Watkins to provide some grieving counseling. He took advantage of our daughter's digital brilliance and pay his bill. And, you know, we're not sweeping our daughters under the rug. All right? And so we just being transparent. That's what all this has been about, our daughters. And you go to blackwomenruntheworld.com, scroll to the bottom of it, you see how they put it up. I don't play by my daughters. No father does. Jesus said, the hireling did what y'all hired ass niggas did. Seen the wolf come and turn their back on our sons and our daughters, not me. I'm the good shepherd. Laid out my life for my babies. And I'm so freaking Michael Jackson bad. I'm out. I pick it back up again because this is the assignment I got from my father. All right, and so listen, man, help us put our daughters' hands on keyboards, help them give them some real work for your companies, help them earn some real income. This is my focus as Dean and Chairman of Urban Success University right now, Black Business Month. And so bring your ministry, bring your nonprofit, bring your products, bring your services, bring your testimony, bring the gift that God gave you. All right, join our daughters in this Brains Over Booze movement. Support my geniuses. They're back to school blitz. I'm a serve because I serve because that's what I do. But I'm prioritizing our daughters this month and their Brains Over Booze movement. All right, and so they can take the desk, they can take the building, they can take the institutional relationships. You cannot take the assignment. And so as a spiritual father, I'm gonna say it once, I'm gonna say it twice, I'm gonna say it a billion times. I ain't playing about my prophetic urban princesses. And so some people do it for a check. If you don't know, you should know. I'm doing it so God can get glory from the story. And if you know like I know, all right, my geniuses, they're gonna run the fucking world. I'm trying to tell you, they all this that y'all that they know it. They may not be able to effectively articulate it to you. All right, and when they get on the phone with y'all be stealing a thunder. Y'all be having these long conversations. Those are consultations. You gotta pay for those. And so I'm playing guard dog for my daughters. Man, that's some weirdos take advantage of it. I'm calling them out. Willie Watkins burned him on a diamond. Craig Simpson burned him on a diamond. John Bailey's and Wheels and Tires burned him on a diamond. Kenley Waller burned him on a diamond. Marvin Espit, FCS Ministry burned him on a diamond. These black businesses knew what our daughters were doing and got their service and burned them. Willie Watkins sponsored one of them. And they had the nerve to reverse his fucking deposit on his sponsorship. So you going to sit down. No. Kept his sponsorship on the sponsorship. You going to sponsor our daughters. I believe in your businesses. But I ain't going to pay you for your work. What are we teaching our daughters? I'm teaching them they matter. And at the beginning of the year, they're like, yeah. Screaming the fuck out these weirdos. House niggas. Over our daughters. What's wrong? Y'all ain't used to like. Even my Morehouse young tigers. They ain't fucking with you, Frosted Flakes. It's different. I ain't talking about just sexual persuasion. Niggas just soft in the word. I'm daddy now. USU, it's the Dean. And it's my class for the week.